Before I get into these great books by Don Kalam, $1 million with the game, okay, right here. I'm talking to you though. I'm talking to you. Listen, anytime you issue credit, don't you go to the store, debit or credit. Think about it. A debit is a negative, credit is a positive. So anytime you give them a credit, credit means loan. You can't get credit without your social. You got the card right in your hand, credit. You just claim the interest. You're giving the store a loan. There's no money in America. It's fiat currency, Federal Reserve note. Every Federal Reserve note out here is a loan to the public. That's what a lot of people don't understand. So anytime you issue credit, you're giving them a loan, you gotta learn how to claim it. If you know that Social Security is a trust, why are you still claiming that you're an individual on them forms? Shouldn't you be claiming it as a trust? Just think about that. $1 million with the game, can't touch this, part of the same collection. Go to Amazon and get this. You see how thick this is. Everybody claims they want redemption, remedy. Well, learn the game. This is the true redemption manual right here. Can't Touch This by Don Kalam. Teach you about true redemption in commerce, okay? Everything's in commerce. Everything is commercial. But if you're new to the game, $1 million with the game by Don Kalam. I'm a living example. As simple as that. Learn more about your boy. Support the craft. Hip hop, entertainment. That's where we're coming next. So support it. Much peace and love.
I am recording. Let me know where everybody's tuned in from. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to continue to sign in. We got New York in the building. There was like a few people, like a dozen, that signed up on Kilam or Kalam. I issued refunds. I was never able, the payments weren't processed. Don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if it's because it's a nonprofit, whatever it may be. They was asking for too much tax information, so I just refunded everything. Check your spam box with all the information. You can go to mynewnetorth.org. $9.99. Get the info now. We got Texas in the building, Cali in the building. So I apologize for the dozen people that happened to. If you did sign up on mynewnetorth.org, you was sent a bulk email, so it might have went to your spam box. So check your spam box with the new security information. I do have people in the chat. I do have people on the webinar. We got Kansas in the building. So obviously they received the information. They was able to read the information. They comprehended the information. Things are always subject to change. You got to understand that. Everybody that signed up will get replays. I didn't get any type of literature out for this, so I just hope everybody pays attention. I'm going to drop straight game. I will be screen sharing. Real busy. I need everybody to understand. I put certain things together because there's a lot of lost so-called sheep, I would say. If you're putting things together, you're not a sheep, you're a wolf now. But just know wolves travel in packs. Sometimes there's a lone wolf, but you still got to deal with packs, all right? Because wolves are territorial. I'm going to get down today is called, what's it called? Faith versus state. I like that. Prices are going up. Tomorrow's spring, so this is like a New Year's for some people. We're going to speak from the faith-based organization aspects and tribal aspects. I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. When it comes to private memberships, prices are going up. Everything that you do get, if you sign up online, that's really, I give people stuff so they feel like they receive something right away, but it's about the files and the courses that you get access to. All right, we got the 404 in the building. This is Dom, you the GOAT. The course files, FM files, Google Drive files, things like that. Those are things you want to pay attention to and learn from. You book a consult or a call. Depends on what we're talking about. Time is money. There's no customer service with trusteeship, all right? Everything is common sense. Walking by faith and not by sight. It's full faith, then credit. Faith, then credit. You gotta understand that. This is just law. All right? This is just the way I perceive things that work for Don Kalam. Everybody that is with me in the actual webinar, we got Matthew, we got Julie. What's the main thing you came to learn tonight? What is it that you expect to learn? Let me know in the chat. And like I said, I am live on the Instagram for some of those that might not have been able to log in. Check your spam box. We sent out new codes, all right? But everybody that's following along right now in the webinar, let me know. What do you expect to try to keep it short? You know what I mean? Under like 5 words. So he says how to set up a tribal ministry. We got how to set up a tribal ministry. Anybody else? I mean, you got a family. Say you got a mom, a dad, and 2 kids. That's a tribal ministry already. It's already set up. There you go. How to operate correctly. How to operate in a certain line of light. That's what I would say. Matthew says how to operate correctly and move privately. And again, that's just walking by faith, not by sight. The truth always sets you free, so get in tune with the truth. You'll always lead yourself in the correct way. Julie says, whatever knowledge you're willing to bestow, I'm a sponge. I like the freestyle, but when I deliver books and things like that, I like it. It keeps me on track. Because there's so much more. I already got laying the path out there. Anybody else in class? What y'all plan to learn? I already got laying the path out there with on Amazon. And that just breaks down law, truthfully. All right, can everybody see my screen that's in the class? All right, Kenneth says yes. So this is laying the path. This is a good place to start. He says correctly utilize. Fuse says correctly utilize and set up my trust and ministry with my land. Shannon says how to be able to structure correctly and having the knowledge to manage. You gotta understand you're already structured perfectly. That's where you start. Y'all gotta really start there though. I'm not answering any questions on social media. So laying the path, this just speaks about the 508c1a trust, all right? Go here. I might talk about this a little bit, but it's about learning how to maneuver correctly with it, all right? But this is where I want to start. I'm not a licensed attorney, tax expert. I do this for educational and informational purposes only. Has anybody heard of the law of 12 tables? I spoke about this in a few of my lectures, not too many. Let me know if you've heard of this. Let me know that you can still currently see my screen as well. It should show the law of 12 tables. Y'all with me, class? Y'all with me? Y'all with me? Got a couple dozen of the people. So I remember being discussed before in class. All right, can see the screen but never heard of it. All right, there we go. I just want to make sure y'all with me. So, with the law of 12 tables, this was the first codification of Roman law. I'm going to go through this. I want y'all to see it on the screen. Understand this is just research and study. Don Kalam is bringing to you. This is the type of stuff I do before I even start understanding or trying to figure out how I'm going to explain it before I even create a book. So this is things I'm creating a book on. You follow me? This is part of the research. It's kind of like a fact check or proof, okay? Because seeing is believing with a lot of our people. So when it comes to the public, this is how I explain these things. Show y'all so y'all can understand it. You got to understand the law of the 12 tables. You got to understand why Roman law is important. What led me to even believe about the Roman law was due to canon law. This is where the judges truly get power. The people that the public choose to call judge. I would say the public. And it says right here in the dictionary.com Oxford language, canon law is ecclesiastical law. I like that word too, especially in the Roman Catholic Church that's laid down by the Papa and the pronouncements. But this is where the master judge, it's under canon in Roman, all right? Christian organizations, all right? That's established and what a lot of people partake in, okay? So what I'm saying, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I don't care what you do. I'm going to authenticate the birth certificate. This is what we hear every day, okay? This is what we hear every day. What has that done for you out there? Truly, what has that done for you? I know there might be people in here now. I'm not here. I don't care about feelings, none of that. Just that's why I said this. You're going to talk to me, discuss a problem. I'm not your therapist. You follow me? You're going to have to pay me. Talk to your cousin or your family member, your brother. Why you can't talk to them? I mean, when you usually go to somebody with a problem, you come in with a payment. You follow me? I just need everybody to understand this. My time is valuable. I have a life out here, right? What you invest in. Birds of a feather flock together. So even members, they know you got to drop a donation. You want to tell me a problem when we talk to you, when we discuss something with you? Because I don't care. I got a list of problems too. You want me to just do that to you? And then the same way with grown men. Hey, Don, I want to talk to you. I need to talk to you. In the DMs, you're doing that. You're a strange man that I do not know. You think I just want to casually talk to you on the phone and text you on the phone? Think about these things when y'all reach out to Don Kalam, okay? This is my job. This is what I do. I really help tribes. This family business. This family. Everybody that's associated with me is family. And then the higher up you are, you know what I mean? That's what I rock with. It's a different levels, different conversations. Be an asset, not a liability. The same goes with Don Kalam and the public. So we have senates, we have governors. A lot of people don't even know where these words come from or even care. Okay, where's your days of the month come from? Your time system come from? The system that you're under, the system that you choose. The Earth's billions of years old, but when did 2023 start? You know, who decided these things? So this is under codifications, Roman law. Okay, talk about the People's Tribunal, plebeius, patrician, patrician. You got to understand these words, understand these things. These are change in the state or the change in the status. These are communities started in Rome. Okay, this is Roman law under canon law. I'm not going to dig deep on these things, but do your own research. Can these are things I just need my people to understand. If you understand it's all commerce, because y'all say the United States is a corporation, right? Ain't this? Tell me when I'm wrong. Everybody in the community agrees that the United States is a corporation. When talking about these things. Everybody's saying yes. So with that being said, can a piece of paper truly give you freedom? Does freedom really cost money? Can you buy freedom? And the reason why I'm saying these things is because this is what people really think. Hey, I'm going to be saved because I got a UCC1, my birth certificate's authenticated. You can only control what you create. Understand that, first of all. Secondly, you can only control what you create. Now, I'm going to break down. We're going to keep going down this rabbit hole of knowledge, but this will benefit you, okay? One of the greatest investments you ever did. For the low, too. So, and then a lot of people want to dispute that. That's in this community. A lot of people want to dispute that. And then they're asking for the wet ink signature and the original copy, right or wrong. Let me know when I'm right, or let me know when you, hey, I don't agree. That's not what we do. But you don't have the original copy of the birth certificate. You want to authenticate a copy. You're claiming documents that you didn't create. And with that being said, I mean, just think about it. You're trying to claim documents you didn't create. That's showing that you have a contract with the corporation. So whatever the corporation says is going to be a fact because there's the proof. And as simple as that, everything was given to you. And one thing, I know we started in class, but like everybody keeps trying to email me the same day. I get 5,000 to 10,000 emails a month. I'm not responding to emails, okay? I'm not responding to that stuff. Stop it. Especially the same day of class. I don't get it. Stop it. Troubleshoot. Use your common sense. Check your spam box 9 times out of 10. There's another word you should know. Latin's important. Latin is still used in private practice. Curus honorum. It's a course of honors. This is where they get their titles, the self-made titles. Novus homo, new man. Military service. There's a lot of things. Everybody understands. Like here's how I can some more proof that was happening in the public. Muhammad Ali had to go. He was Cassius Clay, and he underwent a status change and claimed a lineage. Does everybody know that story? So he went to a tribal jurisdiction. He went to the Nation of Islam, which is a private jurisdiction. Just look it up, Cassius Clay. They was trying to draft him into the military. That's when he joined the Nation of Islam. He didn't go to prison, nothing. Other people, they was trying to talk about he should go to prison and trying to dodge the draft. And I'm going to get deep into that too. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. But the Nation of Islam is its own tribal community. That's faith versus the state. It's its own nation. It has its own tribunal. So yes, Roman law. Learn about Roman law. It's real. It's where the word governor comes from. That's where, think about it, January. Janus was a Roman god. Let me see if I can get into these things real quick and show you, man. Where do the name of the months come from? Because this is what makes you weak until you become weekend on the weekend. You follow me? This is what keeps you trapped in and has you thinking in a certain tense, a certain mind state, so to speak. The what you believe is time. What you believe is actually altering your perception of how the stars and the sun and the moon moves. It's called months. Moons. It's named after the moon. But then again, you think that your day is based upon the sun. You never talk about the moon phases. You think that the seasons are based upon the sun because this is what you were taught. Full faith and credit. However, your programs and what you believe, your beliefs, not able to change your belief systems to factual things, you're always going to be blinded by the light. Some people call it Islam, I, self-law, and master. January is named after Janus, the Roman god of beginnings and endings. February, Roman. February. March, Mars, the Roman god of war. April, some believe that it Latin-based means second. The Greek goddess of love, Aphrodite. May, Maya, the Greek goddess. June, Jupiter, Roman gods. July, Julius Caesar. August, Augustus Caesar. Yes, they're named after Caesars. September. This is based on the things that you choose, the covenants you're utilizing. We know who you are. We know who you serve. Full faith and credit. Does this make sense? Is everybody with me so far? Let me know if you're following along so far. It's making sense so far in the class. But one final fact on the subject. The word month comes from the word moon, the Julian calendar. Everybody says, yep. As above, so below. The Roman gods. And this gets even deeper. You could have a whole class on this. Talk about this all year. Monday, moon. Sunday, sun. Tuesday, a seer. Justice, war. That also goes with Mars again. It's Norse mythology. Wednesday's Mercury, Odin. Thursday, Thor. Friday, Frigg, Freya, Odin's wife. Tell everybody I've spoke with Odinus down at the Celtic runes. This is how they speak with each other. Saturday, Saturn. You know, bathing dog, it says. There they go right there, like I said, right here. There's the Celtic runes right here that they're speaking of. That labels your days of the week. Can everybody hear me? Everybody hear me? Everybody follow along? Okay. I'm not going to stop. He says, the video is muted. Ecclesiastical providence. This is the stuff y'all have to understand. So ecclesiastical providence, that's the form of a jurisdiction under a Christian church. A lot of Catholics know it's called a diocese. or deosis. I don't know. I can't. You know, don't use it a lot, but I've always understood it. The Rota. This is the highest appeals court within the Catholic Church. So all I'm saying so far, and why I'm showing these things, this is their Supreme Court, Supreme Tribunal, and the reason why I'm showing these things, this has to be labeled in your articles. Okay, this has to be labeled in the articles or your bylaws when you're creating these things. So everybody with me so far. I'll make sure everybody's still with me so far. I heard a weird noise. Just put it in the chat. If there's something you're confused on so far. I'm just showing certain things before I start saying, hey, this is what I would do. This is what I would do. So y'all can see that it's real. Y'all can see why you're not, there's no remedy in most of these public gurus that you're dealing with. You gotta understand, I'm working. I'm working. That's why the price is going up. I'm working. But I can break it down to certain people because the research you've already put into, you should already know what's right and what's wrong. It starts with yourself, though. That's why faith is important. What's your purpose here? What are you here for? Be the change you want to see. Why are you recognizing certain things? You can't have good without bad. You can't have black without white, not without days. So you have to be grateful for everything. You have to be friends with it. All right? This breaks down canon law. I got a lot of stuff, man, I can go over, man. But they do have their own types of attorneys, their own types of schooling, okay? So look up what a tribunal for a tribe is. These are real tribal courts. There is some with with Choctaw, they have their own tribal courts, Cherokees. That's under this. They got Native American tribal courts, and then Indian Affairs tribal courts. There's 400 tribal justice systems throughout the nation. These ain't what I'm under or utilizing, but I just want y'all to understand if you're claiming certain tribes, this is who you have to really connect with or have treaties with. All right? You follow me? They have their own tribal council. So you got, and just like the state, there's state statutes, federal statutes, city ordinances. These are all different jurisdictions and tribunals. When it comes to the Jewish court, and this is what I need people to understand, you have the Sanhedrin, that's the oral, and that's deep. This is deep. So a lot of people learned certain ways and came up in certain ways. The community that you're in the public, they go get an ordained minister online for free, and they think they're a minister. They ain't really sat down with rabbis. They ain't really sat down with deacons and real ministers, okay? You have to sit down with shot callers to really learn this game. You follow me? Hope that makes sense. First people I started learning from was church. I came up Pentecostal learning from those type of preachers. Salvation Army, started learning from them. And then I sat down with some chaplains. I've learned with the Catholic Church. I've learned from a lot of different points of view. All right? But it was the Moors where it made sense. But it's called Bet Din. They call it Beit Din, Bet Din. This is the highest court. And they got the Sanhedrin. These are all faith-based organizations, private organizations. And this is under Torah law. So that's the first 5 books of the Old Testament, okay? Some people's law is just the 10 Commandments. That's law. You got to learn how to implement it. So it's identity, status, and standing. You know, you have to identify first, and that's how they know who you are. So there's not a lot of public information on the Amish. You're going to have to really know somebody. It was big. I grew up around it, Missouri. When it comes to Islamic law, it's called the Sharia. And this is, they have a whole council as well. All right. And this is a system for Islamic law. You have a Muslim arbitration tribunal. I'm just showing y'all this stuff is real and you can find it. Y'all just not looking at the right stuff. Are y'all following me so far? Let me know you with me so far. Y'all still in there arguing codes and statutes. Y'all arguing about a birth certificate. You don't have the original copy. You telling them you need a wet ink signature, but you can't show them a wet ink signature for the birth certificate. Y'all talking about, John, I'm a secure party. I got the UCC1. I got the birth certificate. I put it in the trust. I got the ID. I put it in the trust. You're claiming these contracts still. You didn't create them. You only control what you create. I'm worth $26 million, Don. They owe me. You did nothing. No one owes you anything. You can't go in the game thinking that. You have to show the world what you're worth. The universe will respond to the work you put in. These are real courts right here. When you can prove your royal blood, there's certain things you got to be able to prove. Contracts, certificates. This is not wealth transfer. This is not how you preserve wealth. I hope that sinks in. Usernames and passwords, is that preserving wealth? Online businesses, you can only control what you create. Who's your internet service provider? Who's your phone provider? Where's your business at? Your online business that you talk about. You want to offset a car, discharge a car. What's that car going to be worth in 20 years, 30 years? I'm gonna help people work on that too. There is a benefits when you do pay your bills correctly. When you learn how to get loans from your own bank, pay back your own bank, compound interest, life insurance, universal life insurance, whole life insurance. The way you set up the private contracts. If that's the route you're gonna go. First, middle, last name. That's not how royalty even addresses themselves. A lot of people claim they're royalty. Certain people owe them things. Can you prove it? You go to an outside source to ask who your lineage is. What's that make you? And I hope this makes sense. These are things you have to understand. I'm showing you a high court of justice right now. How do you think they're going to address you if you show them an authenticated birth certificate? You see the jurisdiction right here? They have access to all the records of the Bank of England. And I'm going to break down, I'm going further. I have a 12-week program I'm going to be working on outside of, it's going to be something different. All my private members will have special rates to be able to access it. And I'm going to do numerous 12-week programs with outside sources. But starting off, I'm going to, work your way from the private to the public. Business, holding companies, ministries, all of that. Show you the insurance, show you that side. But I'm going to also break down the banks, the true central banks, the ones who's truly running stuff. It's like 12, 13 banks. You give up certain rights and banking rights when you deposit your talents. It's really your talents. You're giving up your talents. You God give them talents. Just like a hospital, that's a form of a place for status change. You're giving up rights. You're giving up birthrights. And you can look it up all the time. Sometimes they even switch babies. You don't even go home. The baby might not be yours. I'm showing you a high court of justice, okay, right now. a lot of people talk about get the oath of office. They have an oath of office. So if you're recognized as a judge and trying to speak with this judge, there's certain things you have to do to even talk to a public judge. These are public judges. They're dealing with public issues, and you're claiming these matters. You're dealing with these matters. So with that being said, most of their oath of office is with the probate. It's on record with the probate. It's like an insurance contract. They're dealing with the back end. They're dealing with the back end. You got to understand this. It's like, if you understand, because a lot of people talk about infinite bacon, they're dealing with the back end. If they're coming for Social Security, this is an insurance policy set up for retirement. So they're coming and collecting from the back end. So when they're coming from the back end, somebody still owes for that. You better understand what's going on. That might have went over a lot of top of y'all's heads though. Chancery division. Look, the King's Bench division or Queen's Bench division when the monarch is female. Yeah. Chancery division, the Court of Chancery. Housed in the Rose Building, deals with business law, trust law, probate law, and land law, and issues relation to issues of equity, dealing with patents, companies. Y'all with me so far? Y'all still with me? We got deals with commercial court. Am I showing any confusion? Am I confusing anybody so far? And we just getting started, really. I haven't even put the icing on the cake. We're still in the oven. Ain't even rose yet. Not even rising yet. This is why I know you're not talking with the right people. You're not learning from the right people. You got to understand where tension goes, power flows. Birds of a feather flock together. Michael says he loves it. So whatever energy you're intaking is going to lead you. Pay attention to what happens in your life. When you hang around the wrong people, what happens? Wrong things happen in your life. So this is how you know who you need to cut yourself short from. Prosperous things happen in your life when you hang around prosperous people. That's why I might not know what to do right now, but I do know to get around people that's making prosperity happen in their life. Those are the people I get around. Business and property courts. Nobody hid the things about the Bank of England. Nobody's hid these things, okay? They're out there. So you have to understand what's out there for you. Understand how to talk to them correctly, all right? Now, there's just more. I'm just showing a little bit now. This is the Arbitration Act. It's an act of parliament. The Islamic Sharia Council, we talked about the Sharia law earlier. And it's based on the 4 Sunni schools of thought, all right? Dealing with marriages and divorce. The council has no legal authority in the United Kingdom and cannot enforce any penalties. Everything is usually done voluntarily, but you do have something established if you're under this sect or going this route. The Moors have something private as well in Philadelphia, but I'm not really allowed to put all that information. Certain kind of like the Amish. This is Islamic Revolutionary Court. This is a whole tribunal. I'm just showing y'all what's out there. So you got the public sector. This is what's regulated. This is the regulated market, we're going to say. We're going to call it a market. The regulated market. Public sector means regulated. The part of an economy that is controlled by the government. Does everybody see that definition clearly? I'm going to make sure y'all see it. I'm going to blow it up. Make sure y'all see it. I'm about to log off on the Instagram. Click the link in the bio. Prosperity is your divine birthright. It's $10. Price will probably go up in a few days, but click the link in the bio. Faith versus State webinar. Much peace and love. Has everybody heard about the private and the public sector? I've talked about it, been talking about it a lot this year and last year some too. I have a book called The Private Sector as well. Let's see all those responses. Everybody says yes, yes, yes. Okay. So y'all not new to this. Private sector is just the opposite. Most of the private sector owns the public sector or influences it, buys it out. Everything's always alive and well in the private sector. Understand this. If it looks chaotic in the public, it's great in the private. That's why they say wars are for money.
We'll be back after a quick break.
In a world where the tax system can seem overwhelming, one book is here to guide you towards financial empowerment. Introducing The Capitalizing Namepreneur, Unleashing the Power of Tax Credits by best-selling author Don Kalam. Are you looking to demystify the complexities of taxes and harness the power of tax credits? The Capitalizing Namepreneur provides an understanding of effectively utilizing your tax credits. Discover the secrets behind setting up a tax firm, understanding the strawman name, protecting your assets, and navigating the implications of the Social Security Trust Fund. Don Kalam's expertise shines through every page. It's like having a personal financial advisor by your side. Get your copy of The Capitalizing Namepreneur today and unlock the power of tax credits to enhance your financial well-being. Order your copy now and take control of your tax strategies. The Capitalizing Namepreneur, Unleashing the Power of Tax Credits by Don Kalam. Available now at leading bookstores and online. Get your copy today.
But the private sector is the part of the national economy that is not under direct government control. In the public sector, it's usually an adhesion contract. It's not quid pro quo. Everybody should know what this is. Adhesion contracts, you accept it. There's a secret adhesion attached to it. Quid pro quo is what you do in the private. Something for something. Fair exchange. It's balance. Shadow banking, we're not going to get deep into that, but that's form of private and what they're doing with crypto. As you see, the regulated market is over which government bodies unregulated is what the government can't control. 10 rules of commerce. You can only control what you create. That's the main thing I need everybody to understand. You can only control what you create. That's the number one rule of commerce. So, I do want people to understand this in the private, okay? In the public, it's taught something different. I've even taught it differently, but that's why it pays to be a private member or deal with people that utilize this correctly. Guarantee. It's called the alter ego doctrine. Does everybody see it on the screen? I've talked about this in a few lectures. And how many of y'all have heard me talk about this? Few says, I made this mistake. Ownership means liability and obligation. Kenya says, I almost made this mistake until you spoke on it. Says, I've heard you speak on it. So a lot of people's after Donald Trump. If there's something with Donald Trump's name on it, is that not open to the public and able for subjection if he was to ever get sued? Does that make sense? Kenya said, yeah, that's why he owns nothing. Correct. A sovereign can be tried in their own court. So when you sue an official, say you want to sue a judge, what really comes from this? A sovereign can be tried in their own court. They represent the court, not themselves. The same thing when you show a document, hey, this is my birth certificate, this is my ID, this is my social, so you represent those accounts. These are contracts and accounts. You're an account holder. You didn't create the file number. You didn't create those signs and symbols that's on that document. It's not your letterhead. Yeah, it's a trust account, but it's established for someone to be in custody of it. It's considered a custodial account. So I do teach, make the name an LLC. I've even showed people, hey, here's how you make the name trust. But I don't do a name trust. I give it to the church. If I make a name that's in the LLC, it's either going to be property of the church, intellectual property of the church, or a holding company. But we're going to stick to the faith-based things today. A holding company is similar to I would say a public trust. It holds assets. It doesn't own them at all. It just holds them. The beneficiary owner, they collect beneficiary interest due to they hold and manage those things. So Berkshire Hathaway, that's who Warren Buffett, that's what Warren Buffett manages, Berkshire Hathaway, and Berkshire Hathaway controls all these different companies, Coca-Cola, Geico, real estate companies. It's numerous. There's private contracts and public contracts. You don't even know everything he owns. Berkshire Hathaway has $1 billion in cash. They say, Warren Buffett, you're the richest man. You have $1 billion in cash. He's like, no, Berkshire Hathaway has $1 billion in cash. He manages it. Public figures are always going to be exposed to certain things. That's why it's own nothing, control everything. Slow, the alter ego is where a corporation lacks a separate identity from an individual or corporate shareholder. The court applies this rule to ignore the corporate status of a group of stockholders, officers, and directors of corporation with respect to limited liability. Finding alter ego gives the court cause to pierce the corporate veil and hold individual shareholders personally liable for debts of the corporation. It says, earlier, the alter ego doctrine was not applicable to other business forms, such as limited liability companies. However, now the alter ego doctrine is applied to limited liability companies as well. And this is in 2022, when it was updated. So in layman's terms, you're still signing for everything, and it's similar to what's going on now. You go to the store, you sign for something, you claim an ownership and obligation of the name already. You're already acting as we'll say, as a trustee and beneficiary of an account that was established already. Does that make sense? So you go apply for a job, right? You're utilizing the social and an ID or a birth certificate, whatever you're utilizing. That's the tribe you're claiming, that's the accounts you're claiming as trustee of. Or you're claiming that, yeah, I like to say trustee. Let me try to find the right word for you. Employee is a good word too. I work for these. This is the company I work for because they're contracting with those accounts. I said, what would be the proper way to sign? I'm really not answering questions. I'm going to keep going, but I don't sign. Signatures are signed in nature. I told you everything's full faith and credit. I don't want to get too deep so far, though. But if you says autograph, we're not going to talk about these things right now. Because an autograph means you're somebody important, then. So if I'm autographing something, I'm gonna need payment for it right away. If a monarch is not gonna sign a bill, only presidents pass bills. Presidents are presidents of a corporation. Only presidents approve bills. Is a monarch getting a bill? Think about these things. Let me see how to put this. Because it's faith versus the state right now. I want y'all to focus on the ministry. But as far as everything goes, like we're going to be talking about credit in a few days on that class on the 22nd. And it's 3:33. But the holding company is always owed. And like I've already said, with the insurance company, that's a private bank right there. There's something I'm going to get deep into probably this summer about whole life and universal insurance. Learning how to create compound interest and taking loans from your own bank, even if you're getting a loan to give to somebody else, as long as you're getting it paid or a company's paying it. It's all about making sure you're making interest. You have money moving around. But only a slave is going to get a bill anyways. And as simple as that. I move in the business aspect realm. I move with businesses and churches. And we're going to focus on the church. The church ministry versus the state. Somebody's giving me something, I don't need to sign, I'm going to stamp it. Simple as that. If somebody's going to give me something, it's going to be a contract. Ain't going to be no bill. Hey, you owe me this. No, it's going to be a contract. I'm going to do this until the work's done. We're independent contracting with each other. That's what life is all about. So I know you're not focused on the right things by the questions that you ask like that. But we do form our holding companies that contract with our church, okay? In Nevada, one of 5 charging order protection states, and this is why. There's no taxes, no franchise, state, or corporate taxes. Privacy protection, you want to remain anonymous. No, you don't have to share anything with the IRS. No agreements, no taxes on anything. And this is how you implement case law. Because I see a lot of people want to implement case law on disputes and all of that. Depending on what state or court you're in, you can't go use case law on a state case. They go off statutes. That's a statutory jurisdiction. This is why you got to understand how to implement certain jurisdictions. Everything is based off contracts and agreements. When I'm dealing with my dispute letters, I utilize it one of 2 ways. I've utilized and had remedy with having the holding company represent the so-called debtor. This last go around, just last month, well, this month, we had the Kingdom of Kalam, the church, the kingdom, represent the debtor, redeem, redemption, true redemption. If you look up, which I'll show you right now how the Kingdom of Kalam is established. All my members know this because I took the classes. A lot of my members have received the grants, certain grants that comes with part of the membership is, of course. Kingdom of Kalam, Articles of Corporation for a nonprofit corporation. So this is in the public. This is the entity that established it. Goodyear Entertainment. And I could keep getting deep with that as well. And there's the attachment. This is the mission. Some states you can put as a mission statement, or this is just an attachment. This nonprofit will be operating as a 508c1a. Does everybody see that on their screen? This is how we let the public know it's a 508c1a. This is a tax-exempt organization described in 508c1a of the Internal Revenue Code. Benefits for faith-based organizations. They do not have to apply as a 501c3 in order to be tax-exempt. Does that make sense to everybody? So just with this alone, I don't have to file anything. I don't have to show the IRS anything. Tax exempt. I don't have to fill out any of the documents. Just by showing that this is how we're operating, okay? This is for the public so far. But you see who the incorporator is. It's an LLC. So I'm gonna go back to this because these are forms of protection. So Goodyear Entertainment. You see, this one happens to be in Colorado. Goodyear Entertainment LLC. And you see who the registered agent of this is. The registered agent is going to be a holding company in Las Vegas. Does everybody see this? Everybody see my screen? The reason why I'm showing this is because you have to be, say I have something in Colorado, say I had a house in Colorado or a church, and something happened in the church, and they wanted to sue the church in Colorado. But I wanted to remain anonymous and have those protections in Vegas. A foreign corporation wouldn't have those. So you want to have an actual business in Colorado. So you're doing business in Colorado, but the owner, the single manager, is going to be a manager. It's manager managed. This is a manager managed LLC, Goodyear Entertainment. We got one in Arizona as well. So with that being said, it falls back on the manager, and the manager just so happens to be an entity, and that would make all of the Nevada rules apply. Now the holding company is going to be member managed, okay? Member managed. So I just hope that makes sense. There's 3 layers of protection just for one nonprofit. It's really more due to the trust of how you have your bylaws established. All right. I went over a lot so far, nothing but game. But so with that being manager managed by a holding company in Nevada, all these laws, all these benefits are implemented. And I hope that makes sense. And then the trustee or the beneficiary owner of the holding company is going to be truthfully be a private faith-based organization.
We'll be back after a quick break.
In a world where borders can limit opportunities, one book dares to challenge the norm and empower foreign nationals like never before. Introducing Can't Touch This: Diplomatic Immunity as a Foreign National by best-selling author Don Kalam. Did you know there is a difference being a citizen and national? This is for foreign nationals seeking to expand their horizons. Do you dream of obtaining a diplomatic passport and the freedom it brings? Don Kalam reveals the secrets to unlocking diplomatic immunity and creating your own nation. Discover why you are already a foreign national, learn the steps to obtain a diplomatic passport, and explore how you can be recognized by numerous nations on your diplomatic journey. Most never knew they could have diplomatic immunity as a foreign national. This book is a game changer for anyone seeking freedom and recognition on the international stage. Get your copy of Can't Touch This today and embark on a journey towards diplomatic immunity and creating your own nation. Order your copy now and unlock the power of diplomatic immunity as a foreign national. Can't Touch This: Diplomatic Immunity as a Foreign National by Don Kalam. Available now at leading bookstores and online. Get your copy today.
Most definitely should know about non-UCC records and hidden security interests. Everybody thinks that you have to put it on UCC1. That's a public financial tool, okay? It's announcing things to the public. First in line, first in time. A government cannot go against a private contract. That's why insurance is so powerful. You can't get a Shahada certificate. I'm showing certain things that can be created. A lot of Muslims don't have certificates to show who they are or who their faith is. I'm showing you full faith and credit. The certificates that you're claiming, the instruments that you're claiming. Let's call it an instrument. The instruments that you're claiming is creating the form of you on the record, the sound of you on the record. What song are you singing? Pro se means poem, really. Pro se. You got the prosecutor. What are you putting on the record? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Which instruments are you claiming? Priest says, wow, I get it. Covenants. That's how I break it down the most. Covenants. Covenant is a promise that's implemented in your family law, your family Bible. You should have a family Bible. A Bible is not a religious book. People think this is a religious book because this is what's being taught to you in church. Y'all think this is a religious book. If it was so religious, why they swearing on it in court? The Crown has the copyright to that book. Think about these things, man. Oh, man. So I need y'all to understand, when it comes to covenants, when it comes to certain things, a family Bible can show a covenant in land rights. You're not supposed to make any covenants outside your God, but you're signing promissory notes. A covenant's a promise from God, but you're signing promissory notes. You're claiming documents and signing for things with an entity outside of yourself that you can't see. Our common law, people have to understand what true common law is. Common law holds the records of marriage, birth, death, and transfer of land rights written in one's family Bible or reliable evidence. Family Bible records are unrefuted by better evidence, or common law deems that records conclusive. We talk about the Abraham covenant and we built this city. He said, you be breaking this shit down, yo. I'm telling you, who else is talking? What guru is showing you these things? Follow, tell me, let me know. And y'all still believing in these people. They're not getting nowhere in life. They're doing the same thing 5 years later, 10 years later. You're calling these people ministers. You're calling these people chiefs. Where's the land at? Are they feeding you? You still going to Walmart and Kroger's and County Market to get food? You still going to McDonald's to get food? You're still buying your apples at the grocery store? You're calling these people chiefs. Who they connecting with to get you food? Who they connecting with to get you land? Who they connecting with to make sure your tribe is secure in the future? Who they connecting with or what are they creating so you can have better trade, better skills? This is why you invest in Don Kalam. These are things Don Kalam does. And it's not for everybody. You're only strong as your weakest link. This stuff is not for everybody. I do enough for the public. Drop game for the public. Some of the private don't like that. Some of my team don't like that. I put a lot of people important to me on hold due to the public demand always blowing me up, calling me, emailing me. I swear I got like 200 emails a day. Y'all want to talk about class today for what? On class day. Class starts today. Y'all want to email me today. Our common law holds that records of marriage, birth, death, and transfer of land rights written in one family Bible are reliable evidence. That's what I'm saying. Who are you in the Bible? I know who you are because you authenticated your birth certificate, slave. I know who you are because you keep trying to say they owe you something with this Social Security number. You're trying to claim custodial accounts. You're claiming a custodial account. I'm saying again, you're claiming a custodial account. Only thing you have the right to do is appoint your board of directors, and we're going to give you who you get to choose from. Hey, sign this right here. We sign this right here. Yeah, we'll give you emotional discovery, but we won't give you full accounting. Sign right here. One does well not to rely upon local county government to safekeep one's family evidentiary records of marriage, birth, death, and transfer of land rights, but to record these on pages attached to the binding with the covers of one's own family Bible. Did you put it on the record? When was you born? We know when you was born. You're ours. You're in our records. We know when you became a taxpayer. Your dependent signed here and made you a descendant and dependent, claimed you as a dependent as a future taxpayer. You don't even understand these words and these things that you sign up for. Hey, this is a Social Security trust. This is a Social Security trust. Yet you're still allowing people to call you individuals and you're claiming forms for individuals. That means that's part of a minority account. You're claiming the minority account within certain estates and rights. You say it's established for you, then it was. Simple as that. You fill the position. Job's yours. What happens when you don't fill the position? What happens when you create a position and create other positions? That's not the things y'all want to focus on. It's so powerful, they'll never allow anybody to come intervene with what they got going on over here. That's how powerful you are. They'll protect it. Then they pick on you because you don't know. Simple as that. Mineral rights, records of birth, land rights, written evidence, inherited land. You don't know who you are because you're choosing their game, their first, middle, last name. Was that your ancestors' names? Johnson, the son of John. You're claiming. You're claiming. He says they're constantly trying to deflect you from even looking at the private. Nobody's deflecting you. It's all about choices. The choices are always out there. Life is your projection on what you perceive. So when you're focused on the truth and the right things, that's all you get in your life. Mosaic law, that's the functions within the New Testament. If you even understand testament is part of a will or a tester. First will and testament, your will and testament, dealing with your will, your promised land, your beliefs. I'm just gonna keep going. This is good info right here. So trust is a Bible concept. And this right here breaks down a lot of game for you. And they're going from the they call it the common law trust. That's what it is. That's what a faith-based organization is going from, is the common law trust. It also talks about the Roman Catholic Church. Always understood this matter because that's truly where it comes from. That's where the Sister K Trust comes from. It's through the Catholic Church. That's one of the Catholic churches, okay? It says God originated a Bible, common law trust. The concept started in the beginning in the Garden of Eden and is evident throughout the Word of God. Trust. Trust estate, trustor, grantor, settler, trustee, beneficiary, and fiduciary are all found in the Bible. The concept is just part of the way things work, the way the word is explained. Just coming here, I'm not gonna go deep in this, but I just want to show y'all different. Oh, I think that's the one. This has a lot on there. I like that. So. Talks about our church automatically tax exempts. It talks about the 508c1a. And I also want you on, like, right here we go. Do not forget that a church who establishes a Bible trust relationship with property is not organizing as a trust. They're saying it's the Bible's trust. It's property of the Bible now. These are the things y'all have to understand. Y'all got to understand these certain doctrines, okay? See, trust is a Bible concept, which I just showed y'all that. So, it says, when a church applies and practices the concept of the Bible trust, she is not organizing as a trust, and she's not becoming a legal entity under man's law. When a trust is organized and operates according to New Testament church doctrine, she's applying the Bible concept of trust. So they're creating accounts with a Bible trust, okay? The Bible's the trust. The Bible is the trust, the record. Does this make sense to everybody? No government, law, agent, or officer can argue the type of trust created or the intent of the creators of the trust agreement. The wisdom of a written declaration of trust. That's all a declaration of independence is. The Declaration of Independence is a trust declaration. The Bill of Rights starts with articles of Confederation. And in the beginning was the word. It starts with the word. So that's an express trust, just with the word. When you take notes and write things down, that's part of the record. That's a trust record. I'm just going fast. I'm just seeing what I got up for y'all, man. And everybody is going to get this, okay? So I've already went over a little bit what covenant is. A covenant is a promise that's made. You make with God. That's what a covenant is. The Abraham covenant is promised land. This is why they can only own property. Promissory estoppel is the legal principle that a promise is enforceable by law. I don't know why I got it up there, but it's up there. Money's a promissory note. I'm going to stick to the religion. So there's a covenant right there. This is real law. Everybody's heard covenants before, correct? And everybody's heard that you're not supposed to make a covenant outside of God. So what is a covenant? What is a promissory note? These are the same things. Do y'all see my screen? I don't know if y'all know how to unmute yourselves. Does anybody have a baptismal certificate? Or is anybody in here a minister?
I got the ministry, but that was only just to, do the tax thing. So, but I respect everything.
Boy, you a fried. No, I'm messing with you. Has anybody baptized anybody? Who got a baptismal certificate?
I have one.
Who is that? What you go by?
Kenya Couture.
All right, Kenya. So you got a baptismal certificate?
I certainly do.
You ever use it as identification?
I have never, up until recently, I didn't even know it was an option.
They say the birth certificate is a contract, right?
Correct.
You got the state and the church, right?
Correct. I'm learning about it now.
So how can I prove you in the sea of commerce?
Say that one more time.
How can I prove you in the sea of commerce?
How can you prove me?
Yeah, as soon as that water broke.
You're absolutely correct.
You got baptized in the hospital. Right? Think
You're
about
absolutely correct.
You can get baptized anytime, right?
This is true.
So I can be reborn?
That's correct.
On the record?
Yeah.
No, I'm just bringing these things up. That's all.
No, but that is true. That's actually gotten a lot of guys released from prison.
Like you said, guys got released from prison.
Yeah, from being baptized and going into different faiths. Yeah, it's happened.
Yeah, you go to the chaplain. That's why the chaplain's there. There's going to be a chaplain in the military, and there's going to be a chaplain within the prisons. Just so you can't get baptized, get a baptismal certificate, you can always update your status. There's always a remedy. But thank you. I just wanted to bring that up. That's all. So all I'm saying is you can. Everybody chooses these documents. I know who you are. You identify with these documents. People go to prison, they become trustees. Why you have to give your social security number if you gave me a thumbprint and a picture? They have an ID of you already. You've already been identified. Y'all not ready. The gang, y'all not ready. What's the Amish give them? You think Mormons have IDs? Think Mormons have birth certificates? So, you under Roman law, you got to understand what's going on. Who you under? We know who you under. They're wearing robes. We know it's religious. All rise. If you read the court documents, you read what's on the record and things like that, it's going to say you're calling them your honor. We pray. We're asking for emotion. You're asking to move. You're giving up your power. The one who angers you controls you. Remember that. I just want to show these things. There's also affidavits of birth. I'm sure I got this up. So a baptismal certificate can be used. Okay. A covenant, a mutual compact to do or not to do something in a contract. In law, it's a promise made by deed. This is why land is handed down in deeds. Have you done a good deed? Per son, one son. You can only be saved through the Father. The 12 tribes. I'm just going to keep going. This is more Roman law. Ambassador is important to know. You're going to be an ambassador of Rome. You can show up as an ambassador. Ambassador is an important title. In international law, because this is what I teach in private banking. You're doing private banking when you're doing international law. That's a form of private banking, because now you're accepting all types of forms of commerce, international trading, foreign exchange. A public minister. What's an ambassador? A public minister sit abroad by some sovereign state or prince with a legal commission and authority to transact business on behalf of his country with the government to which he is sent. He is a minister of the highest rank and represents the person of his sovereign. That makes sense for everybody. If I'm going to deal with anybody, especially if you're claiming a tribe, if you have a tribe, you should always have representation. A lot of people that claim they're foreign nationals and things of this nature, if they don't have no ambassador on file or proof that they have an ambassador, they're never going to even look at you clearly or take you seriously. So one thing to even say, if you're coming in this sense, because this is how a true diplomat get diplomatic status, is saying you're an ambassador. I'm an ambassador from Rome. You understand the Roman law. You're claiming the documents. So at the very least, because those documents are for slaves, hey, I'm the ambassador for this organization right here. I hope that makes sense. I need y'all to understand these things, because when you're doing international law, international trading, you have to know these things. You can't go in there, I'm a United States citizen, when you're doing private banking. They don't want to do no private banking when you're a United States citizen. You can't. You're using a birth certificate. You're using a social. You're using these documents that was handed down to you as a custodial account. You'll never be able to transfer wealth in those accounts. I hope this makes sense. These accounts are custodial accounts. You can only deposit certificates and notes. You're following me. There's no wealth transferred. In international law, an ambassador, Black Law's Dictionary, is a public officer clothed with high diplomatic powers, commissioned by a sovereign prince or state to transact the international business of his government, with authority by letters of credence to treat on affairs of the state. Isn't Putin a prime minister? Don't prime ministers run certain things? Or am I tripping? Doesn't the Pope run a country and he has a sort of a prime minister? Or am I wrong? They have their own law. So I'm showing you what a citizen was in the Roman community. Understand what that is. That's what's going on when you're claiming these documents. You're a Roman slave. You're a Roman citizen. That's what I need y'all to fully understand. Yeah, I study a lot. Abraham covenants. So the Vatican is in Rome. It's ruled by the Pope. That's the Bishop of Rome. And it's the center authority over the Roman Catholic Church. The Vatican is the smallest state in Europe. There you go with the word state again. Going through descendants. When you learn true descendants, that's how a lot of people are empowered, through the lineage and descendants. A lot of people don't understand that. So yeah, you baptize the paper. That's what happens. You throw water on ink, it erases. And then I'm gonna go to some more lectures. Let me see where I want to go next. Understand government. Let me see what I got up here for y'all. We could go through this. That's custodial accounts. I got a lot for y'all, man. We could talk about the paper right now. Or let's see. So different, let's talk about this. Different organizations. We can get to the paperwork right now if you want to. So organizations already acting in a capacity that you can learn from, really. Because who is doing these things? People don't understand bonds correctly when they're trying to claim the bonds. You do have to be recognized to even talk about, you have to be recognized correctly in the surrogate's office in the public when dealing with probate bonds and being able to administer in it correctly. If you're doing it in the public. Make sure y'all still with me on the yeah, let me see. I gotta change the screen for you. All right. So as a minister, and I do have my paperwork. I'll pull it out for you. I got it right here. Let me stop screen sharing real quick so y'all can see. It might be backwards though. I hope it's showing me. So I am showing this off. I got some other stuff, but I am using this one in the public first. I'm a credit consultant too. Y'all can look it up. I'll look it up, show y'all later. Full faith and credit. And then I got the paperwork, and I'm doing this with one of my partners. So it's already filled out. I want y'all to see it. With attached bylaws, nonprofit, I already showed you nonprofit in Colorado. And then a religious group form, all right? I'm not going to get close up on y'all. Y'all ain't got to see everything. All right, now let me share the screen. I just want y'all to see that I had it myself. Now, I've helped other people do it first before I've done it. And there's a bunch of different ways you can go with this route. I'm going to show you the route we chose. So with your congregation, you're going to want to use a 4029. All right? Now, people might have heard me talk about this. I don't hear people talking about it out there in the public. They teach some BS. Have y'all heard me talk about the Form 4029? And as always, I'm not licensed attorney, tax expert. I do this for educational and informational purposes only. This is based on my firsthand knowledge and beliefs. Let me know if you just say yeah in the chat. If you've heard of it, say first time. If not, it's okay. Can y'all see it? Is it on the screen? Can you see it? Corey says first time. Dope. I'm glad it's Corey because Corey has a Bay on his name. First time, Leisha. We got yeses. Shock says he's heard it from me before. Mary says first time. This is an important form, but this is for the congregation. You can already see application for exemption from Social Security and Medicare taxes and waiver and benefits. The IRS doesn't get this form, though. It goes to the Social Security office. I will explain later. They stamped it with approved on it. This is for the ministers. 4361. So if you haven't heard about the 4029, I know you haven't heard about the 4361. How many people's heard of the 4361? Just say first time or just now. You see application for exemption from self-employment tax for use by ministers, members of religious orders, and Christian Science practitioners. And all I did was study public taxes. This is how I ran into these forms. You've got to have a certain business, people in business who specialize in these things or know some Jewish accountants or Amish accountants. Certain people only know about these things, okay? Now, let me pull out this other form because I don't see it pulled up yet. So this goes with the form right here. SSA 1458. So if you haven't heard of those forms, I know you haven't heard of this one. This is your first time seeing this form, correct? I've assisted one simple with this. Can y'all see the screen? Are y'all looking at the form SSA 1458? I've only assisted one temple with this. There's nobody doing this. Your minister ain't got this on file. Your so-called guru ain't got this on file. And I want y'all to understand this. I'm not coming for nobody, but y'all got to understand taxes are public records. Pay attention. People are getting more confused from a lecture because that means they're confused themselves. If you're still confused from your teacher, that means they're confused themselves. They don't know it themselves. Now, the main thing about this you have to understand. I'm going to give y'all $1 million with the game right now. The main thing is, in order to truly be approved, it has to be before 1950. Secondly, they want to know, in the event of death, disability, old age, or retirement, for Medicare and benefits of the insurance system, what are you offering? Do you have health care established? Do you have something established? Do you have food established? Do you have something established for your members? And this is why it's important to understand charitable trust. This is why it's important to understand trading. This is why it's important to understand the insurance system. These are insurance systems. The Social Security Act is an insurance system. A lot of people can't explain this or even know what to say. They're going to ask you. You got to be able to explain it correctly. They're going to want to know that it's before 1950, okay? All these are old organizations that are established, okay? So these are the forms so far. Once you're established correctly, so regarding tenets or teaching on acceptance of insurance benefits and provisions. You ever seen an Amish mugshot? A booking photo of an Amish person? Very rarely do you see booking photos of Jewish people. You're going to understand certain things, intellectual property, learn how to protect it from a spiritual aspect. Is everybody following me so far? Okay. Has everybody seen the Anabaptists? So there's a lot that goes along with it. This explains it. Just find it. Just talked about the 4029. This is the operational manual of what they do when they receive this information. All right. I look at their rule books. I look at their law. So I just want you to know, I looked at it, studied it before I started implementing it. So you got the Anabaptists. This is one. I want y'all to understand this is there's a lot of different things, man. I'm showing y'all a lot of different stuff. This ain't what we're going over today, though. This is payment upon death. Yeah, not what I wanted to go over today. Let me see what this stuff is. Why I don't say native. Native is bondage. So I need people to understand that. Born in servitude or bondage. That's why I don't use the word native. People, I'm a Native American. Indians are in India. We could look at, I looked up the Zuckerbergers not too long ago. So y'all can see, this is where most of the funds go from Facebook. It goes to research for biometrics to his wife's charity. If y'all know what biometrics means, this is deep. Yeah, those are the documents right there. Yeah, these are different classes. Let me just stick to this. Let me know if y'all got any questions, man. That's basically it, man. 508c1a. Get tax exemption recognition. Understand it's before 1950. So you'll have to know how these places are acting. 1717. faith-based organization. Philadelphia is the capital. $13.13. Do y'all following me? This is what I'm saying. Everybody doing everything wrong. Y'all still with me on the screen? Let me see. Priest, can you unmute yourself? Priest. Can you hear me, Priest? Yeah, unmute yourself, Priest. Pure Passion says $1 trillion worth of gain. Priest, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Priest just see him enlightened. All right, you see him enlightened a little bit. So you've heard of the Masons, right?
Yeah.
So they say the Masons run the courts and do this and do that, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you're looking at it as a private faith-based organization and they're following their order, the government can't infringe upon that, right?
Right.
This is what a lot of people don't understand. All the information is voluntary. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
They're not doing
my bad,
nothing.
yeah.
They're not doing nothing wrong. They're sticking to their order, their bylaws, their craft. That makes sense.
It does.
You've heard of the Mormons?
Yep.
They got the same thing established. You know they're tax free. They ain't paying no taxes. Their family Bible says that Jesus was a missionary here in the United States.
Wow.
I just want to hit you up, man. See, you talk about the Masons real quick, man.
Yeah, you put me on how they, the first level of being hoodwinked is, the public school and shit. So yeah.
Because you got to understand. So speaking of public school, that's called a public charter school. A public charter, so that's a branch from the public.
Okay.
Funded for public individuals. The public sector is what's controlled by the government, but the people are the government. So it is whatever the people choose. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So, and most schools are free to attend, and they're run. You see, it says run by independent contracts.
Yeah.
It's a job. They're gonna do what they're paid to do, correct? Or they lose their job, right?
Yeah, they're gonna do exactly what they paid to do.
Nobody forces you to go to the school. It depends on what documents you file and what information you're volunteering.
Yeah.
Catholics go to Catholic school, right? Jewish got their own schools. Follow me?
I do. Understood.
All right.
Hey, appreciate you, though.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me know if y'all have any questions, man. But I do want to bring up the Zodiac Constitution really fast. It's pretty adept when you understand it. When I first seen it, I didn't fully understand it, but now I'm taking second looks at it. This is what we utilize with our religious exemption and being able to explain it. This is not the actual one I utilize, but they're utilizing the 12 signs of the Zodiac. They're talking about sacred geometry. And this breaks down with the Masonic law, truthfully. A different version. I would say you got a left wing, you got a right wing. This is more of a right wing way to utilize Masonic signs and symbols and be put back under a certain status. I'm going to try to find y'all a good copy, man. So it's just all about updating the record correctly and establishing your law correctly. And I got it. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick because I got it saved on my computer. Let me know if y'all got any questions, though. She said, where do we speak? Where do we send the forms, the IRS forms? It's going to be in the instructions. Read them. What's the form say? They make my form, so I can't tell you where to send them. Look at the forms. They tell you where to send them. They got their own religious exemption unit with the Social Security office. So can you speak more on the family Bible? What's there to speak about? It's a family Bible. You ever been to a funeral? Don't they keep a record of the funeral? Who's there? Sign here. Can't you look up public records and see when people were born, when people bought land? You got a business? How do we know what happened in the business? What if you get audited? Where's the records? Same thing with a family Bible. It's family records. So when's the private membership going up? Spring. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's spring. Everything's going up. New year. This is Zodiac Constitution. And this breaks down a lot. It breaks down your taxes. It breaks down dealing with the Magna Carta, white supremacy. There you go. Tax and military exemption, your titles, how to get married, Zodiac marriage law, peace and economics, Christian union courtroom, how to deal with the court. So this is one thing that can be proven, one thing that can be utilized due to is pre-1950. So this is how they know you're a Moor. This is one way they know you're a Moor. I, self-law master, is not a business. It's always been something dwelled in the Constitution, all right? Now, it does get deeper. There's more than this. There's a lot more than this. How you start a meeting, how you proclaim a meeting. We're not talking about status change. We're not talking about none of that. Was y'all in class? Go over the stuff we already talked about. I talked about today. Y'all paid $10. Y'all talking about status change now. Did you get a haircut? You ever had a haircut, Jalen? Have you had a haircut? Yes or no? Does everybody think that Jalen has had a haircut before? Yes. He says yes. I believe Jalen's had a haircut. That's a status change. I need to quit focusing on status change, first of all. A status change is a change in life. It's a mental change. Y'all still claiming documents. Change that status first. I just went over so much stuff, and y'all talking about status change. When Abraham turned to change his name to Abram, that was a status change. When Malcolm changed his name to Malcolm X, status changed. When you have a baby, isn't that a status change? Hey, that's my firstborn son. Now I'm a father. Now I'm a father of two. Now I got married. Y'all stuck on that's elementary stuff. We only talk about status correction. Ain't no correction. It's always now. Ain't no status correction. None of that. You need to correct your thinking. That's status change. Correct your thinking. You're giving them your history is what you're doing. You're allowing them to keep record of things. And so they're able to say what they want to say. They're able to capture your label and your essence because you're giving your spirit to them. You're baptized through their forms. You haven't created nothing for yourself. You can only control what you create. I'm trying to see how I answer this.
Peace. Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, what's good?
Hey, I had a few questions, man. I just got in an hour ago, man. It said Eastern, and I'm Central Time, man. So I got in about a little late. My first question was, can we get a copy of this?
Yeah, everybody's getting a copy, man.
Appreciate that. And I was reading. So I missed the first half, but I read both the books, The Land of Path #1 and Land of Path #2. Now, the question was, we're talking about the tribal ministry. Between the private foundation and tribal ministry, is that an either or type of thing, or do they both coincide together?
It's the same thing.
Same thing. So you can go with either one, whichever one.
If I'm only dealing with private members, then that's a private foundation. If I'm dealing with the public, then you got your private ministry operating as a public charity or a public church.
Okay. That's okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, that's what I was throwing off at. Okay, I got you. And you said the membership. Now, how I was looking at the membership prices. You said the membership prices change tomorrow.
Yeah, stuff going out. We really don't talk about the prices though over airways.
I got you.
Really not supposed to be putting prices out there. It'd be private, you know.
Donate. Oh, no donation. Donate. I got you.
Yeah, no
For
doubt.
sure. My bad.
Yeah. Request a donation.
I got you. Well, I'm gonna mute out, man. That's all I need to know.
Peace and love. You got more questions, man? Peace and love.
No.
Okay. Let me know if y'all got any questions, man. Y'all got to understand certain things, man. Or you're not gonna be able to sit in a room and talk to certain people. So, like, when you start getting around people in different brackets that you may not be in. Oh, let me close this curtain. Y'all just gonna have to pay attention. Pay attention and observe. But that's what I did starting off anyways with religious groups. Hello, you got another question?
Yeah, I got a question. All right. Well, now pertaining to that, what you just said. Now, this is what I got after reading and studying all the information, right? What I got with what you said, man, you only own what you control. So trying to claim these birth certificate and all these instruments these people created. So in order for us to truly be private, we had to create our own everything and basically putting them on notice of our private.
Who is them? Certain entities, yes. Certain independently owned. Because you got to understand, what you think is the government is not the government.
Oh, okay.
You are the government. You're in the free land, bro.
Oh, okay.
So you're taking part in their franchises, their tribes. The state is a tribe. The state got their own state statutes, right? So that's their policy.
I got you.
The city got their own state statutes, right?
Yep.
So that's the municipal ordinances. That's their policy.
we create our own. Okay, man, Crystal, I get it. We create our own law. Basically, we create our own law. What are we under? Basically, this is what I go by, and they have to respect. Because I'm the government, so they got to respect what. This is my new laws I'm putting down. Basically.
If you work at McDonald's, you got certain rules you have to abide by. You get fired, right?
Right.
They have their own uniforms, right?
Right.
That's with everything.
Oh man, that's crystal, man. That's simple, man. I do when I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, it can't be that easy, man. It can't be that easy. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I think in my mind when I'm reading this. It can't be that simple, man. Like I can just create this and but I guess I'm trying to get past that not believing part. Like you gotta know it. You know what I mean? That's the part. You gotta know that this is what it is.
How I know somebody Amish? They'll look at him and be like, hey, he's Amish. How would they know that?
Shit, by looking at him,
okay.
I asked him, hey, well, I'm Amish, man. I'm this and that. He let me know.
How do I know somebody's Jewish?
They're gonna let me. They're gonna let me know.
A lot of they might. I might know somebody's a rabbi by what they got on their head or what they're wearing. Their uniform.
Right. Okay. The uniform.
That's why we got uniform codes too, right?
Yeah, we do.
So I know what uniform you're utilizing by the codes you're trying to give us.
Gotcha.
You walk into a state court. A judge don't know anything outside of state statutes.
Exactly. I get it.
If a cop pulls you over and you tell him UCC 1-308, he don't understand what that means.
You right about that?
He'll tell you about a city ordinance or a state statute, though.
He just enforcing policy, bro. That's it. I'm doing my job, man. I'm enforcing policy. That's all I know, man. The policy.
No doubt.
Because we signed up for it, that's what's going on. We got to follow their law. I get it.
Dude says, so do you do anything with these records and certificates they gave you? They didn't give you shit. You applied for them. You claiming, there you go, claiming ownership again. Do you hear me? I would never talk to you, Jalen. Go ahead and log out. You ain't got enough money, bro. Go holler at Yusuf L. Anybody else got any questions? God only made 7 days. I need y'all to understand that. Then we just talk about the Roman calendar. Go ahead and log out, Jalen. He said, I'm 22. This is my first meeting. Go ahead and log out. That's why we talk to private members. Anybody else have any questions? God made 7 days. We all agree? 7 days. As above, so below. Made 6, rested on the 7th. God said, let there be light. That means light comes from darkness. It's done in the dark, comes out to light. Full faith and credit. You got to understand what's going on. Walk by faith, not by sight. That's how I started. We walk by faith, not by sight. Accept accountability. If you understand you have a purpose, you'll understand your value. If you understand that you're valuable, you do things to make an effect in the world. What are you feeding your spirit? What you focused upon? What are you giving your power to? Are you giving your power to prosperity? I don't know. I don't know how to be a positive force in the universe if there's no opposition or a negative force, if there's no oppression. Let me know if y'all got any more questions, man. I'm not going to, hey, send this form here. I'm not getting deep with all of that. This is the whole webinar just to bring speed up awareness on your misconceptions. Because y'all stuck on their instruments.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get deep on how to get the forms and none of that. We're talking about a ministry. You can only control what you create. So somebody asked me about an EIN number. Sign one up as a foreign national. We just told you, you're using forms and certificates. You cannot transfer wealth. If you get an EIN number, you're doing banking with them. Right or wrong? Let me know, right or wrong. Did you create the number? Did you create the EIN number? Hey, I got this 498 number. So now I got a foreign trust. No, you don't. You think I can go to offshore island, wherever other people might bank at? Hey, go ahead. I got a 9498 number. But we've heard of ministries going to Africa, correct? We've heard of ministries going to Africa. We know there's ministries in Africa. So we know that ministries, we know that faith-based organizations can get funded globally. We know that faith-based organizations can do international trade, right or wrong. We know that Putin is a prime minister. We know that there's a pope. We know that the United States was giving funding to Ukraine. So what's their EIN number? Who they bank with? Silicon Valley? Y'all gotta understand what these questions y'all be asking, because I'm telling y'all right now, you can't be around me asking these questions. This is why I don't deal with the public. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'll just say next, go ahead and log off. Y'all the one that gets in your feelings, not me. That means you worded something incorrectly. That means your focus is totally wrong. That's what that means. What is wealth? I've already told you these things. We've already went over it. What is wealth? We talked about the Abraham hammered covenant. That's the promised land. You want to get an EIN number. A bank takes your money right away, pays you, a savings account pays you 1% while they make 6%. So yeah, you want an EIN. Why would you want an EIN number? They loan your money out right away. They get paid interest on the money from you and give you 1%. That's not a generational wealth building. That's passing notes and contracts. People that's truly doing wealth building, independent contracting with the government, and the state is buying land. Hey, build this prison here. Build your court here. Build your treasury here. Build this building here. Ain't a courtroom in America on land that the government owns. Courtrooms are banks. These are private incorporations. These are private churches, faith-based organizations. Become a private member. They said, real question, how do we acquire the wealth land without using the banking system? Become a private member with Don Kalam. Invest in yourself. Get around the people that's actually doing it. That's how you do. Birds of a feather flock together. I have land. I have no reason to lie. I have lots of land. Chief Amir has land, building on his land. I'm beginning within a month. Starting a farm, growing food within a month, setting things up for tribal retreats and small houses and lots of things. We're building businesses, doing business deals. I could set you up with people to do business deals on the land and set up 20-year leases where they'll lease out, whether it's for storage unit, hotels, whatever it may be. It's family tribal business. We're sticking to the family, we're sticking to the script. These are things we're on, and it's out there. It's out there, and you don't need credit. It's something for something, and the private is all contracts and agreements. And it's established, hey, yeah, you can make payments, but if you skip a payment within 90 days or however it's established, boom, we take it back. It's no longer yours. Stuff like that. Here's the contracts. When it's completed, hey, you get a deed. We add the interest. You pay it 90 days, same as cash. Some people do it 6 months, same as cash. There's a lot of different people I'm connected to. These are the people I deal with and will and deal with. We built this city, chief and mayor. Check it out. It's worth it. This is the stuff we're learning. Connecting with real tribes, real people, doing real things, solving real problems. So how do you get out their banking system? Stop using it. Stop using it. And I did talk about one way. You know what I mean? And no, I don't do payment plans for private memberships, none of that. If you can't afford it, I don't want you. If you can't get money to get in part of this club, it's not for you. You follow me? And I'm just keeping it 100. Because if your higher power in your spirit is not teaching you how to be prosperous, I say, hey, you need to pick something else to believe in. My God is living. My God is known. My God is well. If you can't be used, then you're useless. If you can't prove to the world you're valuable, you got to already be an asset to come this way. And as simple as that. Not everybody been following false prophets and false lights. You got certain covenants that's handed down to you. We know who you are due to the assets, your portfolio. If you can't be an asset, you can't come to my table. You got to understand these things. They can't own no land and you still playing their game. They can't own no land. None. Full faith and credit. And it's their job to contract with the people. So if you're not royalty, you're a slave. And it's going to get worse. There's no in between. There's no in between. Where you getting food from? You coming to us. You can't even fend for yourself. This is how they're looking at things. McDonald's has its own flag. It has its own gift card and currency. The reason why a dollar leaves your community so fast, the dollar leaves the community in the urban community within 6 minutes. It might take 6 years within the Jewish community. All banking is contracts. That's what people don't know. And agreements, interest. All a bank does, how does a bank make money? As soon as you deposit your talents and your labor, you're giving up, they're for the national people. You're giving up your labor. And then they lend it out right away. Fractional banking, they only need to keep 10% or less of what they owe to the people in the bank. Everything else gets invested. Whether it be for mortgages, loans, other loans with people, other things. Land, resources. What are you spending? Where's your money going? These are the things that have to stay within your tribe. You have to be able to keep it within the family, keep it within your tribe. Everybody's focused on streams, intellectual property, Bitcoin, things of this nature, man. Ain't nobody focused on land. You can hand down land. Ain't nobody still focused on creating things that we might need or even new technology. You don't own the internet. They shut the internet down. What happens? All your business is online. They shut it down. What happens? You don't have no family records no more because you're putting it on Instagram or Facebook. You're creating agreements with these people where through terms and conditions now through their technology. You don't own Instagram. It's not yours. Now they own your intellectual property. It might be your voice. It might be your images. These are things record companies used to do. Beginning was the word and where's God? What's on the record? So it's important to have a record company as well. And these are the routes that I teach to go about. Because and I'm going to get deeper going into summer because like when I talk about when it comes to, I brought up the insurance. The record company is going to file the insurance. That's how I do it. Hey, we got the rights, all of that. So when I'm out there performing or whatever Don Kalam's doing, it's for the record company, but the record company beneficial interest is really charity for the church. When I get closed, record company got it from the church. Don Kalam is leasing it from the record company. Hey, I got a Rolex on my wrist. Don Kalam is leasing it from the record company, and the record company got it from the jewelry company. At the end of the day, it's in part of a private ministry or a holding company. That way, if you do need to have an appraisal, because you got equity, it's considered equity. When you get the appraisal, that's when you have a net worth. That's when you have a worth, and then you can go give a loan or whatever it may be in the public. You don't have credit at first. It's considered equity. Everything is considered equity. The private is equity, and the public it is credit. So when you're claiming these custodial documents and these credit documents, you're showing that you're a public entity. You're showing that you have a contract with the government. We know who you are in the way that you're contracting. And I hope that makes sense. Have you talked to any consulars or ambassadors? Have you put people on notice with your ambassadors? I'm showing you, I've already showed y'all how to start getting recognized on a church aspect. And then when you start discovering your true lineage, I've talked about this a little bit in the class that's on my network.org, my new network.org. It's a declaration and claims class on learning your true lineage and your true estate through real records. This is why you don't know who your family is 7 generations up, 12 years up, because then you would discover your royalty. You went to a public education. This is why they're teaching you your history. They start with slavery, and that's not who you are. And that's with most people and everything. So you believe these things. Because when you discover who you truly are, your true names, your true lineages, your true titles, Mr. and Mrs. is a slave title. You saw on there, you're still using this first, middle, last name. That's not how you address yourself. And it's a lot of different things, man. It gets really deep. I appreciate y'all too. I see the fire emojis, the 100 symbols. I'm going to be dropping on a book on this soon. I just ain't had time, man. Lost my mouth. That's why I'm in scunching over and shit. But they control the records until you create your own private records, your private deeds, and you can get them stamped up. I got my own stamps. I redeem everything. Kingdom of Kalam, the holding company, first in line, first in time. You're using their forms. You can only control what you create. So the private documents get done first. And then if you're going to utilize them forms, you put yours on top. You attach yours first. When it comes to even utilizing their months, dates, and years, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. You're falling under their jurisdiction. You're playing their game. They say honor about the date. A fact can't enter the courtroom. So when you do have factual things, you got to learn how to update the record with the right people. I've showed you the courts, the higher courts. So when you start learning how to operate as a monarch, you start talking and correcting the record with the right people. They know who you are already, or else what they need your thumbprint or your blood. They already know how to make money off you correctly, or why else would they try to identify you? Because if you can't be used, then you're useless. And as simple as that. Does this make sense for everybody? When this is ready, I'll send a link to everybody. So just be looking in the spam box. 4361 for ministers. Figure out the bylaws. Mormon's a good book to use. That's a family Bible. We're the original Mormons. Zodiac Constitution, you can find it. I'll give it to y'all in the chat because I did have a lot of Moors up in here. Because I can't find it online. There's a Zodiac Constitution for everybody. When it comes to your members of the congregation, family members, whatever it may be, if it's your children, that's your family, that's your congregation. Wife, husband, congregation. That's the 4029. Form 4029. Ministers 4361. And then the SS 581. And then make sure you have your title. Minister, emperor, empress, whatever it may be. Make sure you have a high-ranking title. Malik Kalam, that's how I operate in the public. And they've acquired and managed the affairs of Jeffrey Wayne McBride. Jeffrey Wayne McBride Bay. You put the title back when dealing with that, because that's in the Zodiac Constitution. Jewish have their own laws, Torah, they do it a different way. Amish have their own laws. Masons have their own order. All these are fraternities, all these are faith-based organizations. The Judges Association, that's where most of the court documents and things from court get volunteered to in Puerto Rico, a private faith-based organization. And so that means anytime that you're contracting with a court, you're donating to that charity, which is a 508c1a operating out of Puerto Rico. And when you can trace the money and trace these things, it will most definitely help you with a lot of different things when dealing with the court system. Form 990, you want to file that on child support. Child support is also a grant under temporary and TANF, temporary and needy families, TANF. That's where child support derives from. So the father is really paying back grant money. They're getting the father to sign up with a parent, the non-custodial parent. Everything's custody, non-custodial. Think about it. Who's the custodial? Who is a non-custodial account, then a custodial account? So the non-custodial, you have to pay on this, but it's non-custodial, so you can't have custody of this account because it's a grant. Hope that makes sense. Temporary and needed families. Grant. Everything's grants. Everything's grants. Simple as that. And if you want it to bring it back and assess it correctly, you have to assess it as a tax. It's either a gift or a tax. When you assess it correctly, he's a dope tan if they owe me. When you assess it correctly, it becomes a tax. And that's when it comes back to you. And as simple as that. All a tax is a contribution. Under Black Law's dictionary, contribution going to a private-based organization, a private entity. That's what Medicare is, Social Security is, all of that. You're investing. You're an investor. You're on the wrong side. You got to learn how to assess it correctly, make it a tax so you can get your proceeds correctly if you're going that route. All right? If that's the route you're going. You know, but all I do is start over, be redeemed, start fresh, reborn, and now moving forward, I learned how to make the trust or the business self-perpetual, so it's always paying itself. That's infinite banking, that's generational wealth, and then making sure you have land and natural resources to hand down, including learning how to have a craft or a trade, technology, food, all of these things, man. That's what it's about. But the cash flow, without funding, you can't raise a nation with no funding. Charity starts at home. With that, I'm out. Much peace and love. Nobody has any more questions. Prosperity is your divine birthright. Stay tuned. I got another webinar coming up. I should have a book ready for the credit webinar coming up on the 22nd. Price is going up. Springtime's right ahead. I need everybody to, when you get this webinar, just listen to it. You don't even have to watch it at first. Just listen to it. Take notes of what sticks out the most, and then start focusing on baptismal certificates. A church can issue that. And who owns a church? Can't you own a church? All you need is witnesses. What's on the record? A family Bible can be used as identity. A baptismal certificate can be used as identity. Learn these things. Affidavit of birth, patent of nativity. These are other instruments being used. If you're using somebody else's instrument, you can't create your own sound on the record. If you create your own instrument, that means you can create your own sound on the records. So what you want to do? You want to be the original, or do you want to be the remix? Simple as that. I don't want to be the remix. So think about it. If you do music, the name of the game is to own your masters and collect all your royalties. So it's the same thing. What's on the record? If you ever create your own song on the record, everything is rhythm, law of rhythm, sounds and vibrations. I'm able to create my own sound, my own story, my own words on the record. The story's going how I declare it. D-O-N. Don. Dreams obey narrators. I control the script. I control the song. What I say goes. And as simple as that. This is what I need y'all to understand on. Quit trying to claim their documents. Quit playing their game. You said we're dropping. I'm dropping it. Peace and love. That's what it is, though. Peace and love. Look in the mirror. It starts with you. Peace. I appreciate y'all.
Are you ready to unlock the secrets of commerce and build an empire that lasts for generations? Look no further. Introducing $1 Million Worth of Game by Don Kalam, your official guide to the private and public side of commerce. In this groundbreaking book, Don Kalam reveals the strategies and insider knowledge you need to create and protect your wealth. Learn how to navigate the intricate world of commerce, master the art of building an empire, and secure a lasting legacy for your family. Get your hands on $1 Million Worth of Game today and embark on a transformative journey toward financial abundance. Don't miss out on the opportunity to build your empire and secure a prosperous future for generations to come. Get ready to conquer the world of commerce. $1 Million Worth of Game by Don Kalam, your ultimate guide to building an empire and leaving a legacy. $1 Million Worth of Game by Don Kalam. Available now. Get your copy and start your journey to generational wealth.